Oh, we're back. Left off at relinquished. You're like, whoa, who is this eyeball man? It's crazy. Yes, he is not only an old card, but he's incredible nonetheless. He's one of the best, in my opinion, and the easiest ritual monsters to bring out. He's blue because, yes, he's a ritual monster. So you can ritual summon this card with Black Illusion. And that is this card, Black Illusion Ritual. So, yes, you use this card to ritual summon Relinquished, which is that one I just showed you, the Eyeball Man. You must also tribute a monster from your hand or field whose level is 1 or more. So, you can literally just have this in your hand or on your field, and bam, you can bring out Relinquished. Ta-da! Now, Relinquished, you're like, wow, look at this shitty 0 attack and 0 defense. Well, if you're thinking like that, you should stop, because anytime they have an effect, there is a reason why they have shitty attack and defense. Because this thing, once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card. You can only have a maximum of 1 equipped monster. During this way, you only can have 1. So it's still amazing though. This card's attack and defense become equal to the equipped monsters, so you'll get that power, but you'll have Relinquished being the one getting that power. It doesn't get the effect though. That'd just be a little too overpowered. But I think there's a fusion that allows that, and you can have more than one thing equipped. And it's like, damn, look at all these monsters you got equipped. But that one, that's Thousand Eyes Restrict, and you need a card called Polymerization and a 0 attack, 0 defense monster called Thousand Eye Idol. And, fuck that. I'd rather have the cards I have. I don't want that Thousand Eyes Restrict. Fuck you, Thousand Eyes Restrict. And, but anyway, so basically, if this card would be destroyed by battle, destroy the equipped monster instead. And this is the one that's really good, so you can do some cheesy shit with this. While equipped with that monster, any battle damage you take from battles involving this card, inflict equal effect damage to your opponent. So, if you take your opponent's monster that was theirs on their field, and you equip it, then anytime you just want to feel like attacking something in defense position that you know you can't beat and you're taking damage, they'll also take that same damage. So you can just cheese the damage that way. If they want to just stay in defense, you can just keep bashing Relinquish's eye against their face, and it's like, oh, but then they take that damage too because their monster's feeling it, and then somehow you feel it too, and they're like, oh, what the, my monster. It's connected to my life points still. So that's one of the reasons why Relinquished is so nice, because not only is it so easy to bring out, that effect is too strong, too good. You can just do once per turn, so you can just keep getting their monsters over and over again. It's a crazy one, but there is the weaknesses, very easily seen weaknesses. Not only if you just negate its effect, it won't have any of the attack or defense, and it won't get saved, but same with if you return it to the hand, then you would you would have to re-get this card from your grave or something, and then bring it back out. So that's a thing. So Relinquish is cool, but it does have weaknesses. Don't get me wrong. If there's more than one monster your opponent can control, then they could just easily fuck up Relinquish, because once Relinquish's equip card goes, then back to 0 attack and defense. And then they won't be taking any more damage because it doesn't have the monster that they had could equip to Relinquish, and then they just bye Relinquished. So Relinquished is good, but not always. There's some parts where you gotta wait. We're like, well, you don't want to bring him out if your opponent doesn't have any monsters, because then Relinquish doesn't have any monster it could just control under its belly or something. So yeah, this card, you didn't know, that's the art on my arm. My first tattoo, Change of Heart. Very cool. It's a little different, but I'd say my tattoo artist did an amazing job. Very beautiful job. So there's a reason why this card is banned. This target one monster your opponent controls. You just take control of it till the end phase. So basically, any time before that end phase, you can choose to just, I don't know, sacrifice the monster, do one of this, something like that, so they don't get it back at the end phase. Because if it's not in the field anymore, then it won't go back to them. So yeah, that's a thing. Change of Heart, very good card. It is extremely helpful for just taking a monster that your opponent has that's face down and be like, okay, and then you'll be able to see what it is when you flip it up, or you can just peek under it, just be like, okay, I'm not flipping it up, I'm not using the flip effect. I just want a little peek what's under there, and then yeah, it's pretty nice. This one, I don't know why this one isn't fucking banned or limited, but Raigeki, it's a spell. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. As simple as that. It's a really good card. This one basically does the same thing, but destroys all your opponent's spell or trap cards. So Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster. Change of Art. Very good, very good. 3 old cards. Very awesome. Soul Charge. Oh man. Well, there's a reason why this is probably banned too. So so some people I don't have something that can increase my life points. But if someone does, then yeah, I can see how this card could be a problem. It'll be a big problem. So Soul Charge can target any number of monsters in your graveyard. You special summon them, and if you do, you lose 1,000 life points for each monster. So you got to be careful because you can straight up, you can just you can just commit suicide like this, and you're like, well, I don't want to lose you. Activate Soul Charge, and then it'll pay. Like you're allowed to just put up to as many as you can hold on your field. Um, and then you just take 1,000 for each. So you're like, haha, I die for my own card. This is how I want to go. But it is an extremely good card. The only thing about it is you can't have done your battle phase in it. Say like you did your battle phase. You're like, haha, well, I could cheese this card. Nope, you're not allowed because if you did your battle phase, whether you battled or not, you can't use this. So basically, you know, you got to use this, and then you won't be able to battle in that turn. So you can only want to activate Soul Charge one per turn. Only activate 1 Soul Charge per turn. But it is extremely good because, as you see, as long as you're willing to pay the 1,000 each for each monster that you summon from your graveyard, this thing can bring a shit ton back, and that'll be so good. You can build an army, but at a hefty price. So, this one, an old card too, but have an amazing card. It says it's a spell card, but it's a spell continuous technically. You'll see why. But Swords of Revealing Light. It's very nice. After this card's activation, it remains on the field, but you must destroy it during the end phase of your opponent's third turn. So it'll be like counting down every time your opponent starts their turn, and their draw phase will be like, oh, 1 turn. So on the third turn, it goes bye-bye. But it's very, very awesome. This is like a really great card. When this card is activated, if your opponent controls a face-down monster, flip all monsters they control face up. That's a little scary, but while this card is on the field, your opponent's monsters cannot declare an attack. So you're safe. You're safe basically from that. So it's a nice, really nice card, and if you wanted to, if you got this one, you could cheese it. Once it goes back to the grave, then you're like, oh, flip it up. Magician of Faith, give me back my swords. So you already know what this does, Monster Reborn. You already know what this does. This is a little dangerous, but it's a really nice thing, and I have 2 more in the side deck just in case. Cosmic Cyclone. This is a quick play spell. You pay 1,000 life points, then you target 1 spell or trap on the field, you banish it. And that is really good because they won't be able to bring that card back in the duel. Like I said, if it's removed from play, if it gets banished, then that's a nope. They can't bring it back. So you already know what these do. Oh, I don't think I explained what this did. You can select 2 main monster zones on the field, just either field. Neither player can use the selected zones. You cannot select a zone that is occupied by a monster, which you already showed that Zany Zebra had the same effect basically, but this one is cooler. Because if your opponent's going to be like, well, haha, I can bring out all these monsters, well, how the fuck are they going to bring out monsters when their monster zones can't be used? So that's why I have Zaddy Zero. I'm like, if I have to, I'll negate all your fucking monster zones because you only have 5 total monster zones, at least in before the link thing. But just imagine that they're like, well, shit, they can have the spell or trap cards to destroy these Ground Collapse or Zanny Zebra or something like that. But without that, they're pretty fucked. And you already know what this did, but I'll just, it's a equip spell card, Moon Mirror Shield. It's nice because you'll basically always win in a battle. As long as it's just like they don't have any effects or anything like that, or nothing stops you, it'll always make you have 100 more than their highest attack or defense, whatever's higher, and it's nice. So it is pretty good. So but also if this card gets sent from the field to the graveyard, you don't have a choice in the matter for this. You have to pay 500 life points. Unless you don't have 500 life points. If you have exactly 500 life points, same with this card, then it'll kill you and then the duel ends. But if you can somehow get a negative odd number of life points, then you can avoid dying from your own card like that. It won't kill you. But if you have exactly that amount, then you will get fucked up. But then you can place this card in either the top of your deck or your bottom. So this card is great, but there are some times where I'm like, all right, can you fuck off? And then you're just like, all right, get out of here. So then that's something. This, oh man, Clock Tower Prison. There's a combo wombo, I'll tell you about this one. But this takes a little bit. Clock Tower Prison is a spell field, and you're wondering, like, whoa, a field? What the? And there's only one on each side of the field, your side and your opponent's side. You put his field spell. So once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you place one clock counter on this card. When there's 4 or more on this card, clock counters, you don't take any battle damage, which is incredible. Because imagine that. And the other effects is like something with Destiny Heroes and stuff, but I don't care about that. I care about the top one. So that's amazing. There's an ultimate combo with this. This other card I'm about to say is really good nonetheless, but if you have this up, you're basically beat bop beat. They're done. They can't touch you, basically. So Astral Barrier, a trap continuous. When it says continuous or something like that, or field spell, then or continuous, or like I said, the Swords Revealing Light, or the equip, it'll stay on the field until that gets destroyed, or something like that. And yeah, so Astral Barrier, very awesome. If your opponent's monster attacks a monster you control, you can just make the attack a direct attack instead. So you can save your monster, but you take the damage. But if you have Clock Tower Prison up, you don't take damage with battle damage. So you're like, woo, nice. So it is really good. You're wondering, like, whoa, what is this? Gallic Gun versus Masenko or Special Beam Cannon? What is this? But no, you'll see. So these are Mirror Force cards. They aren't the original Mirror Force. They have different effects. I would say they're better, honestly. Most of the time, if you're wondering, like, Paul, why are most of these cards not sending to the grave? Why are they just sending them back to the hand, banishing them? Because a lot of people, they have effects that do shit in the grave. So if you just send them back to their hand or back to the deck, you're about to see the next card will do, or just banish them, then they can't do shit with that. So that's a way. That's how I get through. And if I have to build up my army, taking some time, or make them deck out, oh, I will. So anyway, Quaking Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, change all your opponent's attack position monsters to face down defense position. And this is the one that's really good about this effect. Monsters changed to face down defense position by this effect cannot change their battle positions. And that is crazy. Even when you attack them and they get flipped up and they don't get destroyed, they can't do shit. They can't go in attack position, but they can still be sacrificed or, synchroed if they're face up, or Xyzed combination, or fucking Link monsters. You'll see why I hate Link monsters. I'll show you at the end of this deck analysis video explanation. So anyway, that was Quaking Mirror Force. Now for the other one, Drowning Mirror Force. It used to be called Rippling Mirror Force, but it's Drowning Mirror Force. So this one is really awesome, but there's a little catch you have to follow with it. So when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, only when it declares a direct attack, shuffle all your opponent's attack position monsters into the deck. So that could be amazing, but it's only when they do a direct attack on you. So yeah. This is another one that I might switch out to the side deck whenever I feel like, well, this one's kind of shit because they don't got any of the certain thing, but it's an amazing card nonetheless. So this deals with cards like Clock Tower Prison, where if it's already on the field and it activates its effect, then you can just activate this and it destroys it. But you see it's just a trap. You're like, okay, Paul, it's a trap. Then it goes to the grave. That's pretty shit. But if you didn't read the effect or you didn't know about this card, Scrap Iron Statue It has the form of that bastard Stardust Dragon that just says screw the rules and like I don't care if my effect is negated. I'm tributing myself. It's like no, you son of a bitch, that's not allowed. Your effect is negated. You bastard. Anyway, so so yes, when a spell slash trap card that is already face up on your opponent's field activates its effect, destroy that card. Also after that, you get to set this card face down again instead of sending to the graveyard. And then the other effects is something about junk in the trunk, junk monsters or something. Big ass, I don't know. That's a lot of ass. But, Scrap Iron Statue, very nice for people who have a lot of those cards. You just faced my deck versus that deck. Then you just be like, well, fuck you, Clock Tower Prison. It's like, oh no, because no matter what, even if you get 4 clock counters, it's going to keep putting on clock counters every time your opponent's standby phase happens. So that's when you'll be able to be like, well, fuck you, I'm not letting you, and then it destroys the card. And then you just set it back down. So this card could be a pain in the ass because it keeps getting set back down. So you'll use up one of your zones, but I think it's really good. So that's Scrap Iron Statue, very nice. This is another old card. I guess technically, well, when I mean old card, I mean like Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! This Clock Tower Prison, Ground Collapse, and I think Book of Moon too. Those are Generation 2. And what are the other ones that are Generation 2? Oh yeah, these Roid cards. And well, I think this one's a Generation 1 card too, actually. But it's like a little bit past Generation 1, between Generation 1 and Generation 2. But this is a Generation 2 card. These are Generation 2 cards too. And I think those are the ones. I just want to explain that to you. But anyway, Grave Robber. If you don't know Joey Wheeler, when you're like, huh, Scapegoats, they remind me of something. Oh, Scapegoat. Yeah, Joey Wheeler. But he also loved using this card. But I don't really care. I just like the card's effect. It's like, oh yeah, this card is used by them, but I don't really give a shit. But anyway, Grave Robber is really nice. The trap card, but at a hefty price. You can select one spell card from your opponent's graveyard. So you can just take it to be like, hey, they want to activate Magician of Faith, where you're like, well, no, fuck you. I activate Graveyard, and I pick that card you try to bring back. So it basically just says, no, fuck you. You don't get to take that. But if it's your turn, or if it's a quick play spell that you grab from their grave, and then you're able to activate it during their turn, you can use it in your hand until the end of the turn. Wait, what? You can use it as your hand till the end of your turn. Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. But if you do use it, you take 2,000 points of damage. So, yeah. So at the end of the turn, if you don't use it, it goes back to their grave. But it's something good. It's usually only you want to use it on like quick or something that you know is going to be gone at the end of that turn. Or if you just use something to be like, bam, I use Raigeki, and it's going to get sent to the graveyard anyway. It's nice. So Graveyard is nice. Graveyard. Yes, the Graveyard is nice, but Grave Robber is really good because there might be something that you don't have that your opponent has. You're like, I kind of want to use that, and it's nice. As you'll see in my deck, I have a lot of things that I can use and recycle or use for my opponent's side, and it's really cool. So that's Grave Robber. Very nice, but like I said, that 2,000 points of damage is no fucking joke. That's a big damage. That's a lot of damage. So anyway, now this one. This basically works in the exact same way as Quaking Mirror Force, except for instead at Floodgate Trap Hole, when your opponent just summons a monster or multiple monsters at once, during that certain moment where they all summon them at once there, or just summon the one, if you activate this card, you change those to face down defense position, and it has the same effect. They can't change their position, and yeah. So it's nice. So they can't get flipped up unless you attack them, or they can't just personally change their position. So it's pretty nice. It is a really good card. Then you got this one. I have extra ones in my in my side deck for a reason. Nature's Reflection. I don't think I explained to you, but there's battle damage where you get when you attack with a monster. Or if you use effect damage, like from Haman, when it says inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent, that's effect damage when it's effect. So say that they did a bunch of that to me, or I did a bunch of that to them. They use Nature's Reflection during this turn, the turn that you activated it. Nature's Reflection. Any effect activated by your opponent that would inflict damage becomes an effect that inflicts damage to their life points. So bam, bounces it back to them that whole turn. They get fucked. Because some people think that like, oh, I want to do the chain stuff. They do it all at once. Well, guess what? You got at least one of these there. But if you know you're gonna fight a deck like that and you need a match duel, then you can just put these two in there instead of having a Speed Warrior or a Scrap Iron Statue or something else. Something else that you know it's not going to be useful probably to against your opponent. So really nice card. So this card, Impenetrable Attack. So this is a pretty good card. It has two different things you can do. This is only during the battle phase that you can do this. So you can activate only one of these effects. So you target one monster on the field. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect during this battle phase. So any card effects that are trying to destroy that, nope, not allowed. And and it can't be destroyed by battle on that turn. So it's really nice, really good card. But another effect, if you just want to save your life points from battle damage, you don't take any battle damage during the battle phase when you just want to. Like I said, you only choose one of the effects, but that's pretty nice. It has that other one because you're like, well, I want to save my life points, and you do that. So that's pretty nice. Compulsory evacuation device. Very simple. It's just like Penguin Soldier, except for you just target one monster on the field, return that target to the hand. Or if it is a extra deck monster, it goes back to the extra deck. So yes, very nice card. This has two others in my my side deck because they're really cool. Oh yeah, I didn't explain why I have two more fiber jars in there. It's just so if I want to like play the gambling route where I'm like, all right, maybe I'll get another fiber jar. And because when this thing gets attacked, it does get flipped, but doesn't mean this one gets shuffled back. This one goes to the grave. So hey, if you get these, then hey, you can do more. That's why those two are in there. But we do this. Miracle Locus. It's a very good card. It is very nice for clearing the field of your opponent's stuff. So it's a trap. You target one face-up attack position monster you control. Your opponent draws one card. So this is a nice way to make them deck out, so to say, so to speak. That's a way if you just like, well, I want to make you deck out, and then you can just do that. They only draw one card, but hey, that's one less card that they have than you. Because as you see, you can have a maximum of 60 cards in your deck, but a minimum of 40. You have to always have 40 at least. So yeah, but you can't have more than 60. So anyway, this is, they gain 1,000 attack, that monster, as well until the end of the turn. But also, if it does, it can make up to 2 attacks on the monster during each battle phase this turn. If it attacks or is attacked this turn, your opponent takes no battle damage from that attack. So you're probably wondering like, wow, it is a really weird card, but it's really nice. Especially if you have the other two in your deck, that you can just go all out power and just clear out their field. So every one that you activate on that monster, say you activated all 3 on the monster, not only will it get extra 3,000 attack, your opponent will get to draw 3 cards, which could be dangerous because they could have drawn some good shit. But also, it gets 1 extra attack per Miracle Locus, so you can attack with 4 times with that monster in that turn. 3 extra from the Miracle Locus and 1 already from like the normal 1 attack per turn in the battle phase. So it's nice. It's really good. This card can save you. And it can be pretty tricky because, well, I mean, you'll be able to clear their field, but they won't take any damage, so it'll be whatever. But it's nice to chain it with this card. So you can be like, bam, bam, destroy their field, and it's pretty nice. Now this, oh man, oh shit. Tyrant's Temper. I always forget the name of this because there's other ones called Tyrant's Tantrum, Tyrant's something else, but I always forget which one I have, but it's Tyrant's Temper, that's what it's called. This is the Continuous Trap, one of many that I have. Not of one of many of this card, I only have one of this card. But you tribute 1 monster to activate this card. So that's another reason why you can steal one of your Pokemon. Not Pokemon. Did I just say Pokemon? Oh my fucking god. I'm sorry. I just got done recording the Pokemon episode before I was doing this Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, so maybe that's why I said that. But that's another way you can use that. You could just be like, well, Tyrant's Temper, I'm going to use your monster, and you ain't getting it back at the end of the turn. It got sacrificed. So that's the only way you can activate this card. If you tribute one monster to activate this. But all face-up monsters on the field that you own, so it has to be ones that you originally owned in your deck in that duel. They're unaffected by other trap cards. So this is incredible, but also can be a little annoying because stuff like this won't work, or this. So you got to be careful with that. But it's a really good card. The counterpart that's easier to summon, activate, is this Royal Decree. So this is the same, except for just all other trap effects on the field. They just get negated, and it's in the continuous trap. So it could fuck you over too, but it's a quick, easy method to just be like, all right, fuck your traps too, fuck my traps, fuck everyone's traps. And it's nice. Royal Decree is another old card, very awesome card. Then you got this. I think this is a Generation 1 card too. Maybe Generation 2. No, I think it is Generation 1. Yeah, Respect Play. You're like, whoa, this looks very respectful. Trap continuous. During their respective turns, that means, like, say it's my turn, and this card is activated. That means I am showing you my hand. And you have to. If this card is up, each player must show their opponent their hand. So yes. But it can be very good, because if you're sneaky, then you can you can put your cards down and they won't know. But then you can see their cards when it's their turn. So it's a very nice card. It can backfire, obviously, because when you draw cards, it'll be like, oh, so you have that, do you? And yeah. But it's nice. Respect Play is a very good card, so you can know what they put down. So it eliminates the element of surprise. It's a very good card. So that's a thing. Then you got this, by order of the Emperor, a trap continuous. It's very good. Not too many cards in my deck have something that does this. Only one, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, just this one. So when you normal summon any monster that activates effect by that being it normal summoned, then you can just activate this effect, negate that activation. Then the player whose effect was negated, draws a card. So I can easily just make myself draw a card if I want to. I could just summon Zanny Zero and be like, all right, I activate by normal summoning negate a spell or trap or monster zone. And then I'm like, nope, I negate my own effect and I draw a card. So you can do that, but it's for those really annoying ones. Like, I can name off some that are in my husband's deck. Junk Synchron. Fuck you, Junk Synchron. I can activate this. You'll get that effect, but you'll get a card at least. So that's another way you can just deck out your opponent and be like, oh, keep summoning more monsters, normal summon them, and activate the effect by that. I dare you. And then you can just negate it. So, I already explained that. I already explained this. Oh, I didn't explain this. So, special summon, if you didn't know, special summon can mean this from a card, or this from a monster. Oh, I said a card. These are all fucking cards. From a spell card, a trap card, or, monster card. But in this version, the digital version, they don't count these as special summon. Like when you activate this or this or this, that's a special summon, but the Grand Horn of Heaven doesn't even ask you want to activate it. So I know it says this is a Grand Horn of Heaven, very beautiful card. Trap counter. During your opponent's main phase, only during the main phase 1, it's specifically main phase 1, because there's 2 main phases. First you draw, then it's standby phase. Is it standby? I think, wait. No, it's standby phase, then draw, then main phase 1, then battle phase, then main phase 2, then end phase. So, only in main phase 1 you can activate this card. But when they would special summon a monster or monsters, just like in Floodgate Drapple where it says the S with the fucking parentheses, I almost forgot what it was called. Suddy. You negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. So all of those they try to do in that instant, special summon, you get them out of there. and you destroy them. They go to the graveyard. Then your opponent draws one card. This is another thing you can make them deck out. But then it ends their main phase. So basically, they are forced into the battle phase, whether they like it or not. So then it fucks up their turn. So it's Grand Horn of Heaven, incredible card. Now this one, this is a classy card, but it's very dangerous. But it's really, really helpful. I fucking would have this 10 times out of 10. Solemn Judgment. This is a trap counter. When a monster's would be summoned, or a spell/trap card is activated, pay half your life points, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So it's good, but you gotta pay your half your life points every time. It's really good for when you don't have really any life points at all, so you're not spending like 4,000 off the bat and then 2,000 and then 1,000, so then you'll be able to easily just get fucked up. But it's a nice card nonetheless. It's really, really good. And the reason why I have this here instead, if you're wondering, Dark Bribe, it's a trap counter, just like the Solemn Judgment, but it's only when your opponent activates a spell or a trap card. Your opponent draws one card, but you also negate the spell/trap activation, and if you do, destroy it. So that's a better thing where if you want to make a deck out, you have this, but you don't pay half your life points, but it's only to, like I said, spell or traps. It's not to negate the monster summons too. So it's a little bit difficult, but you know, that's an option. Now this, Call of the Haunted. This is a very good one, but at the same time, it's like Great Alligator, where if Call of the Haunted or Great Alligator would have been like off the field, then whatever is attached to that, whatever monster, they would, well, for Great Alligator, it would go back to them. But for Call of the Haunted, they would just go back to the grave. Because when you activate this card, this Trap Continuous card, you can target one, well, you have to target one monster in your graveyard, and you special summon that target in attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. So once again, you can do this simple thing where, you know, if it gets flipped face down with like the Book of Moon or something, then you can just not have it connected to it anymore. It'll still be face up on the field. That'll be nice. So you can bring out Uriah, and it's really nice. And then I have an extra Fiendish Chain just in case I want to really negate all their shit. I already have two, but an extra one, you never know, guys. So then the same with Cosmic Cyclone. You have two more of these because you never know when they're going to be a little crazy. And then I have one extra of these Utopia ones because the reason why I don't have these in the non-unrestricted deck, they don't have these Cyber Dragons and this Teller Knight Ptolemaeus. I don't know how to fucking say its name. I know it's not Ptolemy. No, it's like Pterodactyl where you don't say the P. Ptolemaeus. Teller Knight Ptolemaeus. Ptolemaeus. I don't know. Whatever the fuck. So this is the thing I was talking about earlier. You're like, whoa, another level. Rank 4, they're called ranks because you can't use them as levels. They straight up are ranks, these Xyz monsters. So you can't use them in Synchro Summon because it's not a level they have, their rank. So this is rank 4. And not too bad. The attack is pretty shit. The defense is pretty nice. 2,600 defense, that's a lot of defense. But the reason why this is a thing, I gotta scroll down. During either player's turn, oh, it's once per chain, so it's like you can pretty much activate this all during any turn. But you just want to do this in your own turn because there's a reason for that, for the ultimate combo. So you can detach 3 Xyz materials from this card. This is why you want to have 3 level 4s to it, not 2. You want 3, or you can do 4. But it's a little bit of a waste because you'll see why. You'll see the ultimate finished product of what it makes. So you get a special summon from your extra deck. Once you detach 3 of those Xyz materials from this card, you can special summon 1 Xyz monster that is 1 rank higher than this card, except the number monster. By using this face-up card you control as the Xyz material. This is treated as an Xyz summon. Xyz materials attached to this card also become Xyz materials on a summon card. It's just like Utopia, where you can just evolve it and then be like boom, boom, boom. So it evolves into this. Oh, but let me read the other effects. Oh, didn't mean to do that one. Okay, let me check the other ones. Oh, there you go. And if for somehow you have 7 Xyz material from this card, you could just skip your opponent's next turn. Well, that I don't think I've ever used that effect before, but it's pretty nice, pretty nice. But during each player's end phase, you can attach 1 Stellar Knight card from your extra deck to this card as face-up Xyz material. I don't have any other Stellar Knight or Stellar Knight. I don't have any of that. It's the only one I got. It kind of looks like a pony or something. Very cute. It's very cool, actually, now that I'm looking at it. But the reason why I have that in there and why it's banned is for that evolution effect that you only need 3 Xyz materials to attach, because it makes this thing, you're like, oh, Cyber Dragon Nova, look at that shitty 2100 attack. Dog shit. But as it sees, it says it takes 2 level 5 machine monsters, which you can ignore that because, like I said, this is a rank 1, it's rank 4, and you says it can have 1 rank higher, which is the rank 5. So, if you want to know how I found out about this, I found about this like years ago when I used to just battle people online. I saw someone use this. I'm like, what the hell? They use this thing, and then they made this thing, and then made that thing, and I'm like, holy moly. That's how I found out about the Utopia, too. And and I think Samsara. That's how I found out most about these cards. I learned from I guess you could say I evolved myself in my own unique way from people that I fought, and I've seen their cards, and I'm like, not too bad. And that's how I made my deck. So let me explain what this does. This is like a little bit of a crazy one right here. So once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Then target 1 Cyber Dragon in your graveyard. Special summon that target. So that's like, it's interesting because this one's a Cyber Dragon too, so you can have both of them up on the same field, which will be interesting. I guess it can be cool, but that's like not what I'm meaning it to be mainly. This is a hard one to bring out because, like I said, you need 3 level 4s to do this effect, to summon this thing. So it's kind of tough. Kind of tough. Not gonna act like it's not. So it is tough. So anyway, it says also you can banish 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand or face up from your monster zone. This card gains 2,100 attack till the end of the turn. If this card is in your If this card in your possession is sent to your graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1. See, that's useless because I don't have any fusion monsters. Fusion monsters would be purple in your extra deck. So anyway, why you're wondering, like, Paul, okay, so what's the finished product? You see me scroll up a little bit, but here it is. The ultimate, almighty Cyber Dragon Infinity. I miss its my real life card. Doesn't have this cool art. Sadly. It sucks, but it's still Cyber Dragon Infinity nonetheless. But anyways, this, you can, as you see the effect, it's I think the same exact attack and defense, yeah, but you'll see why it's so good. Rank 6. So once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Cyber Dragon Infinity by using Cyber Dragon Nova. And who is this? Cyber Dragon Nova. That's why I have you there. But you'll see the ultimate power. God damn it, Armor, fuck off. I didn't fully read Armor either, so I should read that in a little bit. But so, and like just like the Utopia, it gets all the materials that the previous ones had. So for Teller Knight, I probably would only be using 3 level 4s to make it, so I would only have Teller Knight and Cyber Dragon as materials for Cyber Dragon Infinity. So this gains 200 attack for each material attached to it. But here comes the thing where it's fucking crazy. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up attack position monster in the field. You absorb it and you attach it to this card as a material. But here comes the kicker. Why you use those? But you can have an infinite, why it's called Cyber Dragon Infinity. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, This is a quick effect. You can detach one material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So this is why Cyber Dragon Infinity is a crazy one. It's a crazy. So he's very good. So that's very smart reason to be like, well, I'll have one less of this Utopia combo. So sadly, I don't have 3 of these. I can't have the triple threat. But Cyber Dragon Infinity is like seriously one of the greatest. If you're able to just keep one of those up on the field, if you have 2 on the field, oh my god, your opponent can't do shit. But good thing I'm fair. So basically, you know the weaknesses and shit of my cards, but here I'll talk about this one too. And then that's the end of this deck explanation video. Jeez, took over an hour. Took about, yeah, going to be an hour and 30 minutes. Like, jeez. But I had to explain it to you guys because I've been wanting to do this video for the longest time. But let's see. Armory Arm. Very easy, basic to make. It's a level 4, so you can use it as a material for this, or this, or this. So it's nice. But once per turn, you can either target one monster on the field, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card to special summon in attack position. While equipped by this effect, that target gains 1,000 attack. And if that target destroys a monster by battle and send it to the graveyard, this is one of the best things about this card. Not just because the attack boost, but the fact that you can make it equip it to another, but it'll save it. But it's not like Torque Toon Gear to where it'll save your monster that got equipped by this arm from battle or a card effect. It'll just not do shit besides that, the effects that I'm saying. So you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster in the graveyard. So say I don't know. Say I just used Hamon and had this equipped, and I took down Tierra. I'm like, die, Tierra. Not only will they take 1,000 damage from Hamon, but they'll also be taking 3,400 damage because that's Tierra's attack because it got sent to the graveyard. So imagine that shit. But imagine if they just be like, well, look, I got Nature's Reflection. And I'm like, well, fuck. And then I take that damage, but it's really nice. So yeah, that's my deck. That's Paul's Unrestricted deck. I know this took a long ass time, but what you're going to see in the next video, oh man. I don't know if I'll be able to make this all one video. Not this deck explanation. That's going to be 2 videos, but the one I'm thinking about, but I'm also going to do is, well, you'll see. It'll be the true test. And I'll do this same thing explanation for my husband's deck probably later today or tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow because I'm going to be doing something tomorrow. But maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It'd probably be best for tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to do that. So, yep. It was fun. And I can't wait to show you what this deck is capable of. Anyways, bye-bye.